Hey, welcome back. Now we're on the same lesson. We're still on lesson 923 for the 7/8, but we're on day 2. This one's going to be a little bit quicker because we're still talking about square roots, but we're going to dive more in specifically with those square roots that aren't quite even. And we got to make sure that you have this down so that when it comes to doing your tests and things like that, particularly when they don't give you a calculator, okay, you should be able to narrow it down to about the nearest tenth. And you got to have that skill set. So let's get going right away. Again, we're dealing with square roots. So if you notice my square roots here off the tree, which this was actually pretty cool when I found it. Okay, we need a bad dad joke for the day, because obviously that always makes our day better. What's the last thing that goes through a bug's mind when it hits the windshield? It's butt. I know, that's really bad, but I thought it was really funny. And I like my little grasshopper here. It says, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sorry for all you fans that love the Bug movie and that, but that needed to be done. Okay, so here we go. We're going to jump right into it. We've got 984. We're still talking about how you can find side lengths. And it says, between which two whole numbers is each of the following square roots? To which whole numbers do you think it's closer? And then estimate the value to the nearest 10. So we got 3 things going on. Okay, so first we got to find which two whole numbers is this closer to, which goes to the fact of what I told you last time. We need to know our perfect squares. We should be able to figure out which two whole numbers this is closest to. Okay, that's got to be automatic. Okay, so let's go. So we have the square root of 40. So which two whole numbers is it closest to? So what's the perfect square on this side of it? Perfect square on that side of it. Okay, somebody just yelled out the square root of 36 is 6. And the square root of 49 is 7. Good. So it's between 6 and 7. Let's do this next one. Square root of 95, what's it between? Yep. So we have the square root of 100. Which is 10. And then if we go down, we have the square root of 81, which is 9. So it's got to be between 9 and 10. And then our last one. Yep, someone just said the square root of 4, which is 2. And the square root of, somebody said 1 is 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1. I'm assuming that's what they're implying. Okay, now let's go back. So which one is it closer to? We're going to circle that one. So is 40 closer to 36 or 49? Okay, it's closer to this one, 6. So we know it's got to be between 6.5 and 6. Which one is 95 closer to? Is it closer to 100 or 81? Yep, it's closer to this one. Okay, so it's got to be between 9.5 and 10, but it's somewhere over here. And then this one is 3 closer to 4, closer to 1. Yep, it's closer here. So it should be, I need a small eraser there. It should be between 1.5 and 2. Okay, now we start using our detective skills. So we got the square root of 40. Okay, it's 4 off of here, it's 9 off of there. So it's closer this way. So I'm going to guess it's somewhere like right in there. So I'm going to start trying like 6.4, 6.3. So I'm going to get my calculator out and do 6.3 times 6.3 equals, okay, so I have 6.3 squared equals 39.69. That's pretty close. Okay, let's see if I can do 6.4. 6.4 times 6.4 equals 40.96. Okay, that's pretty close to 40. This is on one side of the 40, that's on one side, the other side of the 40. So the question is which one is closer? because remember, we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So if I look at this, this is 0.31 away from 40. This is 0.96. So I would have to say that the square root of 40 is approximately 6.3. So if you do your 6.3 to confirm, you do 6.3 times 6.3, that should get you to that 39.69. Questions? Okay, let's do the next one. You guys said it's closer to 100. It's not halfway in between, it's really closer to there, so I'm gonna try a number that's closer up there, like 9.8, 9.9. So 9.8 times 9.8 equals 96.04. Okay, so I have 9.8 squared equals 96.04. So that's too much. So I'm going to go down. 9.7 times 9.7 equals 94.09. Okay, so since we're rounding to the nearest tenth, which one is closer to the square root of 95? Okay, so I did 9.7 and 9.8. This one was too high, this one's too low. Well, this one's less than 1 off. It's 0.91. This one's a little more than 1 off. So 9.7 is closer, so I'm going to say, if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, that square root of 95 is approximately 9.7. Let's do this one. Again, 3 is closer to 4. The halfway point in between here, okay, we could work it down to about 2.5. So the square root of 2.5 is 1.5 there, 1.5 there. And is 3 closer to 2.5 or is 3 closer to 4? Well, it's closer to this, so I'm going to try a number somewhere right in there. So let's try 1.6 times 1.6. That equals 2.56. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit higher. 1.7 times 1.7 equals 2.89. Let's try 1.8. 1.8 times 1.8 equals 3.24. So this one's 0.24 above it, and this one's 0.11 below it. So I'm going to go with approximately 1.7, because that one's closer. Does that make sense? Okay, let's jump to the next page. Now, if we do the same thing here, again, we're just getting good at these. Square root of 59, you should have known that we've got the square root of 64 up here. And down below it, we have the square root of 49. So we have a 7 and we have an 8. Here, this is where it gets a little tougher, where you got to know your perfect squares. Square root of there. Now, there are some tricks to do that. If you look up online, that can tell you how close to get. Like when we do 17 times 17, okay, 7 times 7 is 49. So that would tell you that, okay, the square root of 189 is 17. And if you're unsure, you go on your calculator, do 17 times 17 equals, well, I'm sorry, 289. I jumped ahead. My bad. Okay, so I want, the 17 times 17 gives me 289. Jump back down. 13 times 13, 3 times 3 is 9. And that should be, yep, 169. Okay, but what's 14 then? 4 and 4 gives me a 6. So what does that give me? I'll wait. Try it. So try 14 times 14. Good. Okay, so we have the square root of 196, okay, is 14, because 4 times 4 is 6. Well, what's the square root right above that? What's 15 times 15? We actually had it before. 225, good. So we know we're going, this has got to be a little bit closer to 14. This one, it's close, but it's 10 away and it's 5 away, so it's going to be a little closer to the 8. And then what about the 154? I gave you some hints earlier. All right, so if this is 14, what was 13? Okay, if you're not sure, again, go 13 times 13. Okay, so you should have gotten the square root of 169 is 13. And then hopefully you got the square root of 144 is 12. So now the question is let's try to narrow these down. So this is 10 off of here, but it's 15 off of there. So we know it's got to be closer to the 12, but not super close. So I'm going to start somewhere in the middle at like 12.4. So 12.4 times 12.4 equals 153.7. That's really close. So 12.4 squared equals 153 actually it'd be 0.76. I'm not sure I'm going to get any closer to 154, but I'll do it. I'll try the next one up. 12.5 times 12.5 equals 156. And I can already tell that it's too far away, so I'm going to make this approximately 12.4. Here, 200 is 25 away from there. It's 4, so it's got to be something really close to here, to this 14. So let's try that. 14.1 times 14.1 equals 198. .81. So we're a little lower, so let's go a little higher. 14.2 times 14.2 equals 201.64. So which one's closer? This is 1.64 away. This is 19 away. So 14.1 is going to be my approximate. And then lastly, we're 10 away from here, but we're only 5 away from here. So we know it's got to be somewhere closer to the 8. So let's try somebody just yelled out 7.8. 7.8 times 7.8 equals, so 7.8 squared equaled 60.84. So that's a little bit high, so let's try 7.7. So 7.7 squared equals 59.29. Well, that one's really close, so I don't think we're going to get much better than that. So we're going to say 7.7 is my approximate to the nearest 10. So hopefully those make sense for you. And now let's give it a little try. Have you do a couple, let's see how close you get, and then you should be able to do just fine. Hang on, little malfunction here. I'm going to step in front of it, so hold on. So what I want here is what's the square root of 13? So find me the square root of 13 for the first one. I think I got my slides backwards here. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Hold on. I know I'm not pausing for you, but I think I messed up my numbers here. Okay, so find me the square root of 13, and then find me the square root of 47. and then find me the square root of 215. Okay, so find the square root of 13, 47, and 215. To the nearest tenth. Okay, so you should have had enough time. We'll see if I didn't mess this up completely. Okay, so you should have gotten 3.6, 6.9, and 14.7. So 3.6, 6.9, and 14.7. All right, awesome. Hope it went well. Sorry for the little malfunction right there. And here, you'll see what I did, is I accidentally highlighted it like this, and I didn't want it like that, but yeah, we want to go into that. So get her done. Make sure you get the quizzes done. Have a great week. Hope everything's going well, and we'll see you soon.